Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another gunpla video, and today I'm going to be building the Black Knight Squad Cal-re-A. Even though that looks like it says Cal-re-A or Cal-re-A, apparently it is Cal-re-A, maybe Cal-re-A? So that's what I'm going to go with for the rest of this video. As usual, this right here was provided by those awesome people over at Hobby Link Japan, so if you do want one of your own, I will throw a link down there in the description. Now let's get this little beast built. So when it comes to what is inside of this high-grade box right here, there's a lot more than your average high-grade kit, as you can tell by the size of the box, and the build is just as lengthy as you'd expect. It is a very nice build, but it does have its cons as well as its pros. First off, when it comes to the plastic, we do have 11 runners of plastic for the mobile suit itself, not including the single runner for the beam rifle and tons of tiny runners with beam effects on them. As well as that, we do have a sheet of stickers in here with some crazy purple stickers, which aren't the greatest. And we do have a big old acetate sheet of wing effect parts, which is pretty cool, given that's just a high-grade kit. So I started this build the way I usually do, which is from the legs up, just so I have basically something standing there as I build. At first with this build, when I was building the legs, I thought this was very similar to what we just saw with the high-grade Murasame Kai. The legs build up as a bunch of elements, same for left and right. A little bit of inner frame aspects for the upper leg, and what makes the two legs, the left and the right, any different is just the kind of calf parts you stick on towards the end of the build. However, there is a ton of interesting detail. Some parts overlap each other so you get two shades of gold. We've got tiny little white segmentations that just attach onto gold foundations, which brings out that nice detail that we do see on the surface of this particular Black Knight. The feet are nicely detailed too, and we do have a toe bend in here, which actually gets a little bit limited when you snap on the armor, but there definitely is a whole lot going on inside of this leg. So this right here is what we get when the leg is finished. Again, quite similar somewhat to what we would have just seen with the Murasame Kai. We've got the same sort of articulation up here, the twisting aspect. This little bit, of course, can move up and down. The knee bend is quite similar too, if not a little bit better in this kit. We've got a little bit of some moving aspects. Actually, it's hard to tell what does move. I haven't tried anything yet. So the knee doesn't seem to move, even though the way it connected on made it look like it would. This little section down here is very nice, does move. And the toe can bend downwards like so. It kind of gives the impression of being able to build, or should I say move upwards while building it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Again, this is very regal, very royal, and nice so far. Gold inner frame too, strike freedom style. And by inner frame I mean in the actual robot thematically, and in the anime it doesn't actually go through the lower leg. Moving on up to the waist build now, there is no dropping waist articulation in this kit like some other Seed Freedom kits. It is locked in position. The buildup of gold into the white is just as nice as we would have seen before. The gold sections attach in underneath the white armor sections, giving that premium dual layered feel. And this goes for every little element of this, from the front skirts, the back skirts, all the way to the side skirts, which are made out of a very impressive 5 pieces per side skirt. That's a lot for a high grade. Anyway, this is the waist right here when it is finished. Now, I'm not sure how well this will show up on the video, but we do have 2 shades of gold. We've got this right here, and we do then have this shade right here. The way it catches the light is quite impressive. It is glossy, which does make it look a little bit more premium than your standard gunpla plastics. That's cool. This is the normal style right here. It doesn't really catch the light quite as well, but I think it is a bit more robust when it comes to moving things around. So the skirting armors can move up like so. Same in the front. These were snipped apart. You can keep them together if you prefer it that way. And we do, once again, like the Murasame Kai, have an absolutely rigid, non-moving butt flap. Moving up once again, now we're on to the body unit. This is a little bit more unique than what we've seen so far in this kit, because this feels completely unique to this kit. The parts build up in an interesting way. We've got a cannon hidden inside the chest, so we do have a rotating aspect to that. We got the seed action frame inside of the body, so that's 2 points of ab crunch. The shoulders are the same we've seen so far with the ball joints. The cannon layers up out of 2 parts from the chest, which is nice. The chest then goes on over it with a bit of a rotating gimmick in the chest. Again, we've got some of that nice layering of glossy white plastic over a gold section to get that nice almost filigree-ish kind of feel that this kit has all over it. Finally, then we do have a nice neck that just kind of slots in with a little bit of a cover section. Finally, with an actual armored neck bit, and it all works out really well. This then is it once it is complete. So this looks so premium. It's glossy white with a lot of nice glossy gold. Again, these kind of plastics are a little bit on the brittle side, so be careful. I'm not quite sure how this chest kind of works. Oh, there we go. It just opens up like that. That is pretty slick and closes like that. You never see that sort of gimmick on a high grade. That is nice. We've got the same seed shoulders here, but they seem a little bit limited by the design, so they can't come out that far. You could always cut a little bit more of a slot if you wanted more articulation out of it. There is the back of this. It actually looks like I'm missing something. Maybe I am. I should check that out. And underneath this then is the usual backpack adapter, so we're not missing that, thankfully, in case you want to throw on the Mighty Strike Freedom's wings, which I'm sure you will. Next up then in here is the arms, again building up as a bunch of little units. One of the most interesting aspects is definitely the shoulders. So we've got the thruster armor segments first that go up inside of the shoulder that build, again sandwiching gold and white parts. The way the sections actually attach up into the shoulder is very impressive. They attach up inside like this, that is the upper arm and the thruster. If you get in real close, you'll see that there's almost like little slots below where their rotating parts are. So when you actually layer on the white bits like we've been doing so far, or should I say the pegs that attach them, go in under the rotating parts, locking them in position. So even though they just slid in from below, they won't slide back out again. This is also on the knees. Very nice. The rest of the upper arm builds in the usual kind of way. Joint is the same as usual. We've got some wrist armor, some back of the arm armor with a bit of a claw on it, and it's just kind of from here that the two arms diverge from each other. You just turn around the forearm a little bit, for both sides, assemble everything together just like this, which happens so beautifully, and the shield section that attaches in actually is what locks the forearm into position. Very cool design. So this right here is what the arms look like. I will complain about one thing already, and that is these fists are the only fists you get inside of this pack. There are no more, so it means no wide spreads, unless you maybe salvage them off another gold frame kit, like one of the Strike Freedoms. There's the claw round back. Again, the way this attaches in is what locks the forearm armor in position onto the arm, which is very impressive. The shoulder's impressive too. We've got this little section that moves in and out. Again, regal, armored, and very knightly. That just looks so good and catches the light nicely. I didn't expect so much from this kit. I'm getting thoroughly impressed as I go along. Finally, it's time to bring this mobile suit to life by building its head. Again, same thing. We got some gold inner parts that the nice white armor sections layer onto. When it comes to the eyes in here, these are unique. You do have a bunch of choices. I think it's 4 choices you have in here, 4 stickers, a blank black section, or a different kind of points for, I guess, the single eye that this particular mobile suit has. Stick that on. The muzzle face part is attached to what's essentially like its V-fin. They all attach on. We've got tons of little gold sections that attach in to give the last bits of detail, and this looks good. Couple of stickers then for the head cameras. So finally, there is the head once it is finished, and look at how cool that is. Again, the gloss white on that shiny gloss metallic gold does look more impressive than I ever thought it would. We do have stickers, one in there, one in here which does have a bit of a white border on it, which works well, funnily enough. It's almost Gundam-y looking while being not Gundam-y at the same time, giving me a bit of cinnamon juice slightly. And overall, this is just so good. But I will mention that gold plastic can and will break or mark easily. So be very careful so you don't get a bit of a dig out like what I got right there. But otherwise, gorgeous. Next up then onto the backpack. And this is really where this build grinded. Or should I say ground? Is it ground? Yeah. It ground to a halt. Basically, you're going to be going into full production line mode right here for this backpack. There's multiples of the exact same sort of units, and there is 2 wings. So you need to build bit after bit after bit. Each of these units, at least most of them, are made out of 2 parts at least. Then you get onto some that actually need some stickers. And when I say some stickers, it's the purple ones. On the backpack alone, there are 18 purple stickers. 16 of them are identical and they're a wonky shape. The way I recommend doing it is take one of the large upper segments and align that onto one of the recessed bevels. Get it just right, and when you actually flatten everything out, the whole thing will fit right. This is a little bit tedious. It got tedious for me, so a couple of them got a little bit botched out of just kind of the monotony, but overall they're not the worst. There's just a lot of them. Then, once there was a lot of those, there's a lot of these tiny little gold segments as well. You have to cut out multiple of these. There's 2 runners worth, and then attach these into all of the wings, building up all of these individual little units. In the end, however, the payoff is fantastic because when you build these onto the wing segments, they do look incredibly nice. I was going to leave the purple off, but I think it would have just kind of let it down visually overall. And this right here is what you get in the end. Just check out this absolute beast. So it doesn't have a lot of movement to it. It can move forward and back ever so slightly here. The way the wings attach together is cool. There's a little bit in the middle. They lock then on with this. For the actual widespread wings, it is a parts formation, so you do actually have to remove the parts in here and attach them onto these wings. So there is that kind of aspect too. It means it is solid though, which is good, but yeah, this is a little bit on the tedious part to build. All of these are funnels or dragoons, so they can pop off. This is, I said a couple of times already, but it is solid and it's very nice. Alright, so it's about time to get this built. So this is my first time assembling this, so it should be interesting enough. It's very similar so far anyway to what we've seen from this line, however feeling incredibly premium. At the same time with the kind of knock-on effect of this plastic feeling a little bit on the brittle side, so definitely be careful with this. It's almost similar to what you'd see in something like a Digimon kit. Anyway, everything's attaching on perfectly so far. This is an absolutely gorgeous kit. It almost looks a little bit religious or Pope-esque. Not that I'm saying the Pope is gorgeous or anything, but you know, there we go. Damn, that's cool. And finally, then the backpack. It looks like I'm not actually missing something from in there. I thought I was missing a joint or something. There we go. How awesome is that right there? So finally then we do have the weapons that are in here. First up is the beam rifle. Simple enough. It is in a nice kind of rectangular, very geometrical kind of shape. It's 2 halves that just attach together. However, there is the nice little white sight section. I love a little bit of color separation in a rifle, so that is nice. We do have to attach a little bit of a blue sticker into that, not the worst, and overall, simple but effective. We also do have a pair of swords in here. These are very, very simple too. They're mainly just one big old white piece. I will mention the mold lines on these are very, very bad. I've done no cleaning up on these whatsoever, but this one kind of got to me. I just hit one of them with a sanding stick to see how it would work out. These aren't in the glossy plastic, by the way. There is a matte or semi-matte white plastic in here too, and that is what these are made out of. We do have gold little sections for the end of the handles, and we do have some beam effects which have that real seed look to them, but this time in red. But yeah, that is it for the equipment. That is the beam rifle, the pair of these beam swords, which are very, very unique like this. Well, this thing's design is in general. We've got these little extensions for using on the wings, and finally we do have the acetate sheet. You just have to kind of pop these little flame sections out just like so, and what you get when you pop them out is just this. It's simple, but again, effective, which tends to, well, seems to be par for the course for this kit. They just then pop onto this somewhere. I don't have the instructions handy in front of me right now, but they just pop onto it. Probably this way, that makes more sense. And just add that kind of flaming effect, but we'll take a look at that when we're actually doing the review. So yeah, that right there is it for the build of the Black Knight Squad Cal-re-A. Definitely an absolutely impressive kit with a couple of weird down points. The weird down points, of course, being if you don't like injection gold plastic. However, it does look incredibly good on this kit, but there is a couple of mold lines here and there that would be hard to deal with. And of course, those big purple stickers round back. Also, the fact that there is a lot of kind of pedantic, repetitive work on the backpack, but it really is worth it in the end. I wasn't going to use those purple stickers, but they really make the wings pop with a little bit of an almost Dragon Ball Z Frieza color scheme, which I'm digging definitely. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. I got mine through Hobby Link Japan, link is down there in the description. Make sure to come back for the review, and I'll see you next time. Once again, I kind of finished this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys for watching my videos. That makes absolutely everything on here possible. If you don't want to support more interesting videos or just to improve the overall quality of the channel, you can help out on the channel memberships and over on Patreon. Patreon is really what does fund any and all improvements quality-wise to this channel. So a special shout out to Abraxas, Caleb Engelhart, Joe, RG59061, ShadowWolf179, Van Fawn, and Scotty Thomas. Link to join the Patreon and the Discord down there in the description.